It's the season finale of the Cardinal Report, and while we won't get a chance to talk with them, just a quick shout out to the baseball team for making the College World Series after going 4-0 in the regional. First time in 30 years and just the second trip in program history. That's amazing. Speaking of amazing history, the men's and women's track teams join me today to close out the season. Nationals are right around the corner. So without further ado, I'm Kevin Jackman, and this is TCR.
The presenting sponsor for the Cardinal Report is Athletico, the preferred provider of physical therapy and athletic training for North Central College.
Welcome in. Before we get to the teams, let's go to the Cardinal Corner, which this week previews the national meet.
This Cardinal Report segment is presented by Belgio's Catering.
As the North Central buses roll their way to Ohio for the National Outdoor Meet, let's take a look at who's on them and what they're doing. Starting with the men's team, which enters the meet ranked 7th nationally. Per the usual, North Central boasts Luke Winder in the pole vault, and just like last year, he's joined by Dylan Kuipers and Spencer LaHaye. Winder is going for number 6 of a possible 6 in national titles. Zach Plank returns to the national stage after missing the indoor meet. He will compete in the 5,000-meter run alongside All-American Dhruval Patel, as well as previous national qualifier Nolan McKenna. Plank also making the field in the 10K. No 4x400-meter relay team, missed by a smidge, but Peyton Piron will run in the 400-meter hurdles instead. That's his first time competing as an individual at the national stage. After qualifying indoors in his senior season, Adam Pockloff will once again compete in the high jump, this time outdoors. Last but not least, Ethan Adelfinger and Zach Herrera will both race in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. Adelfinger already owns All-American status, while Zach Herrera will look to secure his own. And finally, to the women's side, and the Cardinals' lone representative is Kayla Etherton in the hammer throw. She finished 15th indoors, and this marks her 3rd consecutive trip to nationals. Best of luck to all Cardinals competing this weekend. First up, we welcome Frank Grammarosa to set. And Coach, congratulations, another year, another trip to nationals, and a strong contingency that's going out to Ohio. How much are you looking forward to the National Outdoor Meet?
Well, we're always looking forward to a National Outdoor Meet or a National Indoor Meet or any national meet. So we're really excited. 10 athletes going to make the trip for us, and as always, whatever happens, happens. We had a miracle indoors with few points on paper, and then guys really came through. So same thing outdoors. I don't know, I think we're somewhere around 20 or 22 points on paper, and we have 5 or 6 other events that will maybe add to that score.
I remember last year you told me, because I asked you before one of the meets, I said, you guys are projected to come in 3rd, and you said, whatever's on paper is on paper. It doesn't matter. We haven't talked since the indoor title. You proved that. You came in and it did not look like it looked like you guys would have to compete for a podium stand, period. And you guys won it. It's pretty incredible.
It was incredible. It really was. You never know when that's going to happen, and anything can happen at a national meet. I think we were ranked 6th indoors. Now we're ranked 7th, and we always want to be on the podium if we can. And it'd be great to win another Al Carius Program of the Year award. I think we're 6 points up on lacrosse. So, they're got a really great team, and, we got to sneak in there somewhere to try to score a few more points. And for that National Program of the Year award, that would be fantastic.
You have 3 pole vaulters, and it's anchored by Luke Winder, who's going for, I think, 6 of 6. Which in itself is just remarkable. But he's joined by Dylan Kuipers and Spencer LaHaye, and those guys both have national experience. Is that helpful for them to know what it's like on that stage to go out and compete? Very helpful
to have that kind of experience.
And what is it like for that group to have that camaraderie? Because if you're a solo pole vaulter, it's got to be a little bit like an isolation, but to have 3 there, what is that like for them?
Well, it's like a regular practice session, a regular meet. So it does, have support for one another within that group.
And then long distance wise, because you have the return of Zach Plank. He didn't make it indoors, but now he's outdoors, 5K, 10K. and he's joined by Noel McKenna and Drew Patel. Is there a lot of, I know there's expectations on everybody to perform to their best, but when you look at that group, it must be pretty strong.
It is strong, but when you look at the national rankings and what was on paper that we say, don't even look at that, you know, there are guys that are better in the country. So you just have to go out and compete, and wherever that puts you, you know, if it's your best, great. If not, it's just another day, another meet, and go on for those who can go on. And for the seniors, you know, it could be their last time performing at North Central Jersey.
Now, the 4x400 team, a little bit of a disappointment that they didn't make it in. But there was one positive, and that's Peyton Perron, who's going to join us in a moment. He's going to be able to compete in a different event, the hurdles.
Yeah, well, he was ranked 20th last year as a freshman, and we decided not to run the hurdles to be better prepared for the 4x4. But yeah, we had some injuries, and those things happen, and we're really excited he doesn't have the relay now, so he can concentrate on the hurdles and run 2 races instead of 4.
It's pretty exciting. 2 more events to get to. Adam Poklop in the high jump. He qualified indoors, didn't score points, but I'm sure he's itching to get back out there and trying to score some team points, isn't he?
Yeah, same thing. I think he's tied in the top 12 or 13 with, or 15 with a whole bunch of other guys. You know, there's all those ties, and it's about making heights, and that's what he's got to do. Just stay within the process that him and his coach have set up, and be the best you can be. And you know, if he gets better than 15th, then he did better than it was on paper. Now,
the last thing I want to get to is the steeplechase, which, just from the outside looking in, looks like the most grueling event on the track. And 2 athletes, Ethan Adelfinger and Zach Herrera, will be competing. How do you condition yourself for a race like that?
Well, you have to be very strong. Believe it or not, 40 years ago, I was a steeplechaser, and I know what it takes and what you have to do. But you have to be very, very strong. You have to be, you know, have great mental tenacity to get in there in a crowd and negotiate barriers and water jumps. And you know, what a great opportunity we have for, you know, Zach Herrera being new. We always knew he had some talent. We just had to find the right event. And Ethan, who, you know, stress fracture indoors and missing all that time, and be able to come back and get in that event and be able to qualify. So, you know, again, 2 guys that are a little low on the list, but actually they're really coming on.
Now, before I let you go, I want to go back and I want to take a look at 3 events. It's time for Check the Tape.
This Cardinal Report segment is sponsored by M&M Rentals.
We've already talked about Spencer LaHaye, and he came in, like you said, on paper, not even projected to be on the podium stand or even score points. And with this leap, he finished 4th place and scored some crucial points for you guys.
He's been getting some fabulous height. The Gregory Invitational, it was moved indoors because of the winds that we had. And he was getting some fabulous height. He just has to be consistent on his pole choice and, you know, be able to negotiate where he's going to set the standards. Him and Coach Winder have to figure out, you know, where that is. So, you know, having the speed, having the right pole, and setting the standards properly will determine whether he can get over that bar or not.
Druvil Patel. This is the 5K. He also did this in his other event, but he was in the back of the pack for a majority of this race. He came into the last lap 6th, and here he is finishing 3rd. Or it might have even been second. Second there. And he can't even believe it.
Yeah, he really came on. You know, it's just fabulous how much he's grown, you know. And I think as a sophomore, he was, you know, always trailing somebody and running his teammates' races. And, you know, I think that meet proved that he can go out and he knows the pace. He knows what he needs to do, and just started picking people off. Now, whether that happens again or not, you never know. But certainly, you know, I think he's ready to be the best he can be. And again, I believe he's ranked 6th or so. Yeah. So we'll see where that puts him in the final standings.
Last one I want to get to is Adam Poklop. We just mentioned him. National qualifier indoors. How does he try and translate that outdoors? Is there a difference between the 2, the high jump?
Well, certainly you have the weather conditions outdoors, and again, last Thursday, the meet was moved back indoors, so you're indoors, outdoors, indoors, outdoors. Same thing with the spring training weather. But he's developing some consistency, and this is his third high jump coach. I mean, we have a lot of confidence in Coach Hellberg, but he's been under 3 different programs, and I think he's settling down, and he's just got to do the same thing, stay in the process, rely on what you've been taught and execute, and hopefully the bar stays up.
Well, you've got a long bus ride ahead of you. Good luck in Ohio, and hopefully you can bring home some hardware.
Well, thanks.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up next, we have a couple of runners joining me on set. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report. Senior Ethan Adelfinger and sophomore Peyton Piron are here, and ahead of nationals, you guys are taking that trip out to Ohio. I know the bus ride probably isn't all that exciting, but to get there, I'm sure you guys are pretty pumped for. What are the expectations? We'll go to Ethan for this one that you guys have kind of set out for yourself.
Yeah, I think as a team we just have pretty high expectations just to perform well and do your best effort. And that could be all over the place. I mean, usually if you just did what you did in order to qualify, you could be an All-American, sometimes as high as even winning it. It's also nationals where things can go wrong. Last year I fell, so you could have something like that happen as well.
I remember Al Carey has said that the reaction you have within like the first 3 seconds of falling or doing something like that will determine how you do in the future. Have you taken that incident and said, if this happens again, I'll respond this way, or how do I avoid that? Have you kind of assessed what happened last time?
Yeah, I mean, there's always ups and downs, so whenever you have those down moments, I've always just tried to get past them, whatever that is, injury, falling, not let it get to you too much, just get beyond them, because there's going to be better times ahead.
Now, Peyton, hurdles this time. So you've been to nationals 3 times, but it's been as part of a relay team. It's a solo mission this time around. Is that a little bit different?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different, but just in terms of like kind of warming up and being by myself a little bit more and things like that. But when it comes to the actual race, as fun as it's being with those guys, I'll still be running for all the other guys there. And I think we got 10 guys going this year, and instead of just running with those guys and running for my relay, I'll be running for everybody else watching me and cheering me on and going for more of those team points. So it'll be a little different experience, but it'll be exciting.
Do you think you're going to FaceTime with your 3 amigos?
FaceTime, I don't know. That's a good idea. I haven't thought about that yet. We'll see. But no, I know they'll be watching me, and like I said, I know all these guys there will be watching me as well. And it'll be fun. It'll be exciting to see how it works. So.
Now, Ethan, it's one of those things where everybody in sports says once you get to the postseason, you have to treat it like just a normal meet. Is that possible for the national meet?
I mean, sometimes it can get a little bit more difficult. It's a lot louder usually. I don't know, and like it could be the last race of your season, so you have to kind of treat it that way too. But it really is the same 3,000 meter distance, so it's no different than the first one we would have run this year. Say in March, wasn't the same for me, but it's all the same distance, same amount of barriers, water jumps.
Hopefully better weather.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing. But Zach Herrera is going to be joining you. Is it nice to have a partner in crime?
Yeah, it's great to have teammates there. The last year we had 3, so this year having 2, it's great. I mean, more for like just warm-ups, having someone to talk to. Keeps you just more relaxed in the flow of things, I found, than if you're heading to the line by yourself. You're just there by yourself, so it's a little bit harder because you have no one to talk to. You have to think all by yourself.
You got those nervous good luck. Good luck. But I'm hoping to beat you. Indoors, you guys did beat everybody. It was pretty incredible, and you guys were both, leadership-wise and competing-wise, that had to have been unexpected, but at the same time, hardly worked for. Did you guys feel that way?
Hardly worked for, you said, or
like you guys worked hard for it?
Yes. Yeah.
I phrased that kind of weird.
I know.
You guys hardly worked for it. You guys just breezed right into it.
And it's funny because you say that in a way it almost felt like that because we did the exact same thing we always do. We went out there and we just had our practices, and it's the hard work always comes in practice and all the stuff that people don't see. And it's our coach Al Carey always talks about you just got to go out there and do what you've been doing, and as long as you do that, then everything's going to work out. And don't worry about outcome. Just focus on the process, and that's kind of exactly what we did. And we going into that meet or going into that day and stuff. It's not like we were thinking about we got to win this, we want to get first, and then all of a sudden the next thing we know we're running the 4x4 to try and win a national title. And we were like, how the heck did that happen? So it was pretty exciting how that all worked out.
We captured the emotion following when you guys were just looking at the scoreboard, and the moment that you guys realized what had just happened, we saw it, but what was going on inside your head?
I kind of just, I don't know, there's a lot of emotions all in one. It's almost indescribable. It was just kind of like, I can't believe what we just did. And like I said, it's all that hard work and everything that you've been doing leading up to that one moment. And then when it happens right then and there, it's pretty unbelievable. And it basically took about a week or so to finally sink in and realize what just happened. So indescribable.
Senior-wise, that had been pretty special to be in that environment, much less just to be able to win an indoor national meet, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy because we've been a part of other ones in cross country, but just the team sense of this one just seemed more. It was different this time around, that it was a whole collective group effort that got us to it. It wasn't really one person individually having a breakout race or anything. It was really that full team effort. So it was different, and it was one I'll remember, definitely. It was a big moment.
I can see just from your faces right now that it's almost as if it's still fresh in your memory. Have you guys taken that and said, let's try to recapture that out in Ohio? Have you kind of talked about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think winning is kind of contagious. Like once you start rolling a little bit, getting one, getting two, you start thinking, can we get 3 in a row? Can we keep it up for the next year? You definitely want to keep it rolling.
Is momentum, is that a thing in track and field? Because in other sports, when you're playing every day or a few times a week, it certainly feels like momentum has an influence. But cross country national title, indoor national title, do you feel like there's momentum there for you guys?
Yeah, I would say momentum is such a weird one for track because it is kind of hard for like fans and outsiders to see. But there's something about like a conference meet or a national meet where you're competing for each other where you watch. I'll never forget when we saw Spencer LaHaye clear his height at pole vault. We were all watching bleacher, and all of a sudden we were like, oh my gosh, like we got some more points now. Like it's amazing how you feel it and how you can see those things happening. And when everybody's watching and seeing these people jump good, you start to feel it and you start to want to run better for the team. And it's motivation is definitely a big factor.
Well, guys, best of luck. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what you guys can do, and hopefully, when you guys come back, you have a 3rd straight national championship. So good luck. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you
Very much.
Appreciate it. Coming up next, the women's team stops by. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report. Hey, coach of the women's team, Carrie Cluckhone is here, and another year has gone by. It's pretty crazy, but you still have the national meet to look forward to. Kayla will be going down. You excited for her to finish off her career that way?
Definitely. She's kept my streak going of going to nationals, thankfully. So in 15 years, I only missed one, and that was my first year. So thankfully she made it. But yeah, she's done a great job. She's improved tremendously over her 4 years. We knew that she was going to be an exceptional hammer thrower. And she's really in that position to score this year. And really it's just being free and enjoying the process and getting out there and having fun with the event.
Kind of a model in the sense for your other athletes to say, this is where I was freshman or sophomore year, and if I work, I can go to nationals, because she's improved every single year, hasn't she?
She definitely has, and she's had different coaches over the course of our time as well. Coach Taylor Throckmorton has worked with her for the last 1 to 2 years, and those are the 2 years that we've seen complete development and being able to hit the marks to get to the national championships. Naomi Yamani also was on the national list for us in the throws, so they've done a really good job. But really to be able to see in an event like the hammer, if you look at throws, it's really an event of maturity. Any of them are. If you put in the time with the strength training, if you look at the body types of a freshman to a senior in college, it's so different. So if you just put forth that time, and she's ahead jobs. She works 1 or 2 jobs on campus. She's in band as well. She's been able to balance it all and excel.
So she can throw and she can juggle. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, she can.
Senior-wise, because she's a senior, but you also have some other fantastic seniors on this team. I'm sure you'll be sad to see them go, but what do they mean to this team?
Oh, they mean everything. It's always hard for me to see them leave the next couple weeks. When we had conference, we do our team huddle, and the seniors have a chance to talk, and we do our hug line, thank a senior line. and then I'll do coffee with coach with them here in a week or two and talk about the next steps of life and see where they're going, and also just, you know, some perspective. But to see where they come from as freshmen till now, it's just as people, not just as athletes, it's really rewarding. A lot of people have asked over the years, like, what's the most rewarding thing in your job? And usually it's about winning, people would think. But for me, it's really to see that development of the people on our team. But we've got some very impactful performance-based seniors as well, and they're going to be hard to replace.
What kind of things are said in that huddle at the conference meet from the seniors?
Typically, it has a lot to do with enjoying the 4-year process and really enjoying that time, because it's gone so quickly. You think you've got forever when you're a freshman, and you don't. You know, I can say that to them, and I do, but when you hear it from the upperclassmen, it means a lot more, particularly at the end of their career. Like, it hits them as well. You know, it's so easy to get distracted in college with so many other things that are going on, and you know, the seniors really tend to focus on, one, thanking people from the team and coaches and just the experience they've had, but two, just to really keep reminding the underclassmen to enjoy every day that they have together.
You mentioned 14 years straight going to nationals, 15 overall. What's the culture? How has the culture shifted under your direction on the track and field team?
Well, I would say it was very strong before I got there as well. Coach Marcy Thurwachter had a national level program as well. And any program goes through some, you know, transitional points or some growth periods. But overall, I would say the women that we bring in are very team-minded. They're very coachable. They have an expectation put on them of excellence regardless of their talent and experience levels. Everyone can train like a national champion and study like a 4.0 student is what we tell them. It doesn't matter what your outcome is as long as you're trying your very best. So a lot of what we strive to do with our women is to bring in women that have that philosophy as well, that are easier than to really merge into the program that we have. But really, when it comes down to it, you know, outcome happens because you follow the right process. So when you bring in people that believe in that process, you're going to have strong outcomes over years.
Who should we be looking out for next year to maybe take that next step and become maybe somebody who makes it to the national stage?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have several women that can be national level next year. I think Allie Hartman is one of them. She will be a returning senior for us next year. Great leader, middle distance runner, 4.8, can run the 2 as well, got great speed. Naomi Yamani as well. She's been on the national list, both in the shot and the hammer. She's right there. It's just that development over the course of time in the throws. She's improved tremendously from high school. She had a great high school coach, but has definitely improved as well. I think we're going to have some really good relays next year, both 4x1 and 4x4 that definitely have that potential. We have a really good distance transfer who's been national level from where she's coming from in the junior college ranks. So I think that she'll make a major impact on our team.
Sounds a lot of exciting components.
Thank you.
All mixed together. Well, thanks for stopping by. We always appreciate it. And it feels like before you know it, we'll probably be right back here again next year.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
Coming up next, Tori Capacciello joins me on set. We'll be right back. Senior Tori Capacciello is here with me. And Tori, welcome.
Thank you.
Senior season has come to a close. How fast have 4 years gone?
Oh my gosh. You know, when you're a freshman, everyone always tells you, you know, these 4 years will fly by, and you're kind of like, okay, yeah. But it really has. It's crazy. I can't even believe we're almost to graduation. It feels like we just started this year, so it's gone by very fast.
How much have you tried to tell the younger people on the team, like, enjoy this, like, actually don't take this for granted?
Oh yeah, I think that's something all the seniors kind of try to tell people. But you know, again, I've been a freshman, and when you're, you know, in your first season or, you know, even your first term, you're kind of like, oh no, this is, you know, I got 4 years to kind of, you know, figure everything out. And you know, I think as a senior class, we try to tell them, you know, make sure you guys are really enjoying this, and you know, it's going to fly by. And I think that's something we really try to tell people, but you never really realize it till it's happening. So
yeah. Now, over the 4 years, a lot of improvement for you. You actually, I think, just set a PR a few weeks ago, is what you told me. How exciting is that? Because you work so much and so hard for those years, and to be able to finish with a personal best, it's got to be awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing to see kind of where you started from freshman year and really to be a senior and still hitting PRs is awesome, because at this point I've been running for 11 years now. So to see that stuff after all this time is a really special feeling. And it's cool to see all my other fellow seniors PRing as well.
You've worked pretty closely with people like Kayla Etherton, who's going to nationals. How fun has that relationship been to see not just you grow, but also her grow and everybody else on the team?
Oh, it's been awesome, especially being with girls from different event areas. I love watching throws. It's something Coach Carey finds kind of funny. I get super excited during the hammer throw.
What about it?
It's just so different than what I do, so I think it's cool to see just the different approach it takes to be an elite thrower.
Yeah.
Just all the different technical things that they have to go through. But to see her progress as well as, just all the other girls is a really cool thing, because it's great when you're doing well, but it's even better when you watch the team as a whole doing well.
You said you've been running for 11 years. How have you changed, maybe not time-wise, but just kind of the way you approach running? Has it changed over that time?
Definitely. I started running because my best friend did, and I hated it. So I really have grown to love running, and it's kind of helped shape my personality almost. I've become a much stronger person because of it. I've learned to trust myself and push my boundaries because of the sport. But when I started out, I really just was kind of shy with it. I didn't really have a lot of confidence, but it's something I've really grown to love and be confident in myself with.
What events have you run over the years?
Oh my gosh. So I've always been a cross-country runner, but I started off as a 200, 400 runner in high school, and then I slowly progressed to 400, 300 hurdles, and then it was 400, 800, and now I'm an 800, 1500 runner who occasionally runs a quarter. So
you really are pushing those boundaries.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What were the hurdles like? So how long did you last in the hurdles?
2 years. It was a rough period for me.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, but I'm definitely meant to stay on the ground. So
So no steeplechase, I don't think.
No, probably not. It looks like a lot of fun, but yeah, my feet are better off just on the track. So.
So the track career is done, but now comes, graduation and your degree, in which you were just telling me. What exactly are you graduating with?
So I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in Organizational Communications, Marketing, and Environmental Studies. I'm working at a PR marketing firm right now, which has been a lot of fun. It's been a really great learning experience for me. I'm hoping to get more into the nonprofit world afterwards, but I know that the things I'm learning there now are going to help carry me on forward.
What aspect of the nonprofit do you hope to kind of explore?
I'd like to do fundraising, specifically for groups that work with animals or environmental things. So.
How did you get interested in that?
My mom's always worked for nonprofits, and being in environmental studies, that's something I really care about. And she's kind of pushed me to go into something that I'm going to be happy doing, and that if I want to make a difference, that I really can with my living as well.
It's time for the quick hits. So these are 3 questions that have nothing to do with track and field. Sometimes they're kind of bizarre. Let's go with, this is always a fun one. You're stuck on a desert island. And you get one food that you can have, let's say for the next 30 days. What food do you choose?
Pasta, easily.
That was quick.
Yes.
Is that like your go-to?
Yeah, it's my favorite food. I grew up in a very Italian family, so that's kind of a staple for us, and I can't go a week without eating pasta. So. What's
your favorite topping then? Like the sauce?
My dad's red sauce is my favorite. So.
All right, he'll be very happy to hear that. Sure. How about your favorite place to study at North Central?
I really like the Boiler House. But when that gets crowded, there's like certain sections of the library that are kind of more cut off that I like. I like to have a little space. So.
Have you seen the new Science Center? A lot of people have said that they love now going to the Science Center.
Yeah, the Science Center is awesome. I've only gotten to study in there a couple times as it just opened, but it's definitely a really nice space. So it's going to be great for all those students the next couple of years to have.
All the good stuff always happens right as you're graduating, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Last one. Let's go with your favorite cereal growing up as a kid.
Oh, my favorite cereal was Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Those are that is the like most solid choice you could possibly. That was probably my favorite too.
Yeah.
That or Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, well, you get your cereal and then you get chocolate milk after, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1.
There you go. So. Well, they always said it's part of a well-balanced breakfast, but then they also have like the orange on the table and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably not the best for you, but
that's okay. Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
So
Congratulations on 4 years.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we wrap up the show. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report. That's all the time we have, not just for the show, but for the season. Thanks for tuning in. For highlights and individual segments, head to our website, nctv17.com. Until next time, I'm Kevin Jackman, and this has been the Cardinal Report.